Hello, happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of the Chrissie Mayr podcast. We are coming to you from iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And if you're listening to us on iTunes right now, please go leave a 5-star review. Here's a review from Hank Sinatra Jr. Meh, she's okay is the title of the review. I like her. I was surprised to find out she dabbles in podcasting. If you know, you know. If you know, you know the joke on that one. Oh, I love a dabbler. Quick shout out to our sponsor, Cushy Dreams. They are my go-to for all things smokable CBD. They really have helped me deal with my anxiety this past year. Cushy Dreams specializes in premium smokable CBD and extraordinary CBD-rich hemp flower, also known as bud, in cans and pre-roll CBD joints. Tastes great. It's exactly like high quality weed, but you're not going to get high, boys and girls. You can enjoy all the health benefits of CBD without going out to lunch. These products have under 0.3% THC. It's cannabis that ships directly to you, and it's legal in all 50 states. Do you need help sleeping, but you don't want to take anything too strong? The Dream or the Peace strain would be really good for you. Do you need a little bit you want a little bit of energy in the morning? All right, then maybe you have a couple puffs of the Hustle. I really like the Hustle. I really like the pre-rolls. They come in this really nifty 5-pack that just slips right into your purse or your pocket. Or I don't know, a child's backpack, whatever you have. It helps you sleep. It's really, really great at just battling anxiety. I have a couple puffs and then my mind and body feel relaxed within minutes. Join the men and women who are sick of vapes and gummies and want to smoke their CBD. It's cannabis that ships directly to you, and it's legal in all 50 states. I don't know if I already said that, but it's true. They take the artisan approach. Every run is in a small batch. It's 100% hand trimmed, never machine trimmed. They do independent lab tests to show compliance and purity, all of which are posted on their website, kushydreams.com. Each batch is slow cured for 2 to 4 weeks to guarantee you maximum freshness and preserve flavor in cannabinoids. And best of all, it's grown right here in the USA. They come in different indica sativa blends like Relax, Dream, Energy, Hustle, Create, Peace. So whatever you want to do, Cushy Dreams has your back. So go to kushydreams.com, use promo code CMP at checkout to get 20% off every single order. And I believe that's also free shipping. I'm pretty sure. I'm 90% sure on that. Also, guys, I'm doing more stand-up. The Domestic Terrorist Tour is continuing. This is just what I'll call every stand-up date that I do from now until I get a new title. Going to be at Hilarities June 3rd. That's in Cleveland, Ohio. And then I'm headlining the Dojo of Comedy in Morris Plains, New Jersey on June 12th. And then June 18th, Comedians of the Compound is coming to Bethel, PA. That's the Pat Garrett Amphitheater. More dates coming always. So check my website for updates, chrissymayr.com for tickets. I'm so excited to have this girl on the pod today. I have not seen her in years. We go way, way, way back, and we're going to talk all about it and all things comedy. I'm excited to see what she's up to. You can see her actually next weekend, June 2nd through 5th at the Acme Comedy Club in Minnesota. Also, you can check out her special, La Vie and Rhodes. It's Erica Rhodes.
Hey, wonderful intro.
Sorry I botched your special title. I am retarded and I can't speak French. Is that what that is?
I'm actually surprised how many people don't really get it. Don't get the special.
I've heard of it before. I just didn't know where.
Yeah, it's a little French.
I like a little French. I'm down with that. I once dated a French guy and it was the most typical French guy you can think of. His name was Pierre. And I remember it was just a hot summer. It was a lot of making out in public. I was like, oh, this is what French guys are all about. And then I think we tried to have sex and he couldn't keep it up. And he whispered ever so gently into my ear, I don't understand. I had a Red Bull. He thought that Red Bull was some sort of magical penis drink that was going to keep him hard. I was like, I don't know what they're showing you over there in France, but Red Bull is not going to do that. You're going to need the blue. This is pre-Blue Chew. This was a long time ago. But anyway, Pierre couldn't keep it hard. I don't know if I was too intimidating or if he was just French.
Maybe Red Bull was his excuse. He was like, I had a Red Bull. That must have been it.
Yeah. Yes, I never thought of it that way. Like maybe there's like a penis relaxing chemical in there. I don't know. I'm just, in the interest of preserving my ego, I'm just going to assume that it was because I was just so hot. Yeah. Erica, first of all, we need to tell the people how we met because it's a good story. We go way back to, I think, 2017. We met on the set of Punchline on Fox. It was like one of the best memories I've ever had doing comedy. It was, I think, for me, like the biggest deal, like show that I was booked on. It was like glamorous. It was like a real set. And we were both, I don't know, hired. I don't know what the right word is, but it was basically like a headline show. Like, we get the headlines in the morning, you write jokes all day. And then at 3:00, you have to be at the set. And then you run through all your jokes about the headlines of the day to like the lawyer. I don't know. It was just so much fun. The lawyer. I remember the lawyer did not like my mentioning Viagra. That stood out to me.
Yeah, there were a lot of things that we couldn't get past the lawyer.
I remember that. Lawyer, man.
Yeah, she was very serious about her job. By the way, I thought you were going to switch our
Did we switch back?
Yeah, now it's switched back. Like you're on.
God, look at that.
Oh my gosh, way better.
Because right, something with StreamYard, it like flips the camera view, and you're the second person to tell me that. And do you know that that's the first time I even realized I could switch where we were?
Yeah, it's like they switch our picture. So then if you're on my left side, it's like distracting for some reason because I'm already flipped this way.
Yeah, it's like, it's so hard being a woman in tech, Erica. I mean, it's just.
It is hard doing multiple things, right? At the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah,
no, but I have such good memories of that show. That was so much fun. And then who was that? What was her name? Lacey or something?
Yes, Lace Larrabee. I loved her. Like it was our crew. It was like me, you, and Lace.
Yeah, and the first night we get sushi or something?
Yeah, and we girl gabbed and like everybody
gossiped like you wouldn't believe.
All of our issues were out after the first drink. We were all like about our shitty ex-boyfriends. We were all like bonded immediately.
Yeah, we like told each other everything. And then I think that really helped the show because we were like, we have this connection now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think they didn't really make it a full season. Maybe they went one season, but
yeah, I don't remember, but I remember, didn't we do it twice?
They only flew me out once, but I think they did it twice. Like it did come back. Yeah, I don't know.
But that was fun. You guys looked so glamorous too. Like you had such good dresses.
Oh my God, thank you. Yeah, I thought we would have more like hair and makeup. Like we had some, but that's what people don't realize is like a lot of this TV stuff, like you're kind of doing it yourself.
Yeah. Like too much.
Yeah. Like step it up. Step it up.
Whenever people make me bring my own wardrobe, I'm like, you don't want that.
Yeah. I remember, God, like I was still working a day job at the time. And I remember he was so pissed that I had to take off to go to LA to do this thing that was maybe 3 or 4 days. Like it wasn't very much at all. And he was like, can't they move it? I was like, you fucking asshole. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm like, no. And I took vacation days and like he guilted me. So I ended up taking the red eye as soon as the last night of filming was over. I was still like in my dress, full makeup, hair, went immediately to the airport, took a red eye, landed in JFK, didn't sleep at all because red eye, wiped off some of my makeup and then went straight to work. Like, changed in a bathroom. Like I did a very like dirty slut JFK wardrobe change and then went straight to my job and worked all day because I was so afraid of my boss.
I visited you at that job.
Oh my God, that's right.
Remember, because the only way we could have lunch was if I came during your lunch break.
Yeah.
And you told me about your boss. You were like, he's kind of scary and blah, blah, blah.
Oh man. But how has the last now kind of year been for you? Have you, what's your journey been like? Were there times that you were like scared or like not getting up at all? Like how long was your break or your gap over the last
Um,
year?
it's been a really weird year for everybody, but I I got scared at the beginning, like when everybody thought it was the apocalypse, and
When
and
the
I was
toilet
living,
paper went, yeah.
and I was living in a really crappy apartment in Hollywood,
Oh.
and I remember everything was happening with the toilet paper, and everyone was terrified, and like at the same time that was happening, there were helicopters like circling my apartment all night long
They
one
were
night.
looking for you.
Yeah, it was out of a movie. And then there
Whoa.
was like a huge robbery next door. And so like all these cops were like circling the building, and everybody in my apartment was like watching, and the helicopters were circling around, and they were like making those announcements like, please come
Oh
up with your
my
hands in the air.
gosh.
And this was happening right when everything, when like the world was falling apart.
Were they
So,
looking for patient zero? I mean, like what were they doing?
well, they were looking for people robbing the house. Like there was like a
Oh,
house next door to my apartment, and they were robbing it. So, or like,
wow.
someone was in the house.
Oh
And
my
so
gosh, that's scary.
I got so scared that I texted my sister and I was like, can I come to Florida? I just need to get out of here. And so I did. I ended up going to Florida, visiting my sister for like 2 months.
That's nice.
But what was interesting was I got there and I got an Airbnb because she wanted me to quarantine for 2 weeks when I got there.
Oh,
And I had been kind of sick before I left, but then I got better. So I was like sick for like a couple days, like quite sick. Then I got better. Then I got on a plane. I went to Florida. I quarantined for a week. I got sick again.
Maybe you had it.
I think I did because I was really sick. I was like, at one point, there's one point when I just had no appetite. I don't think
yeah, that had to have been it.
I think I got it, and so I was sick for like a week, and then I quarantined. So then she made me quarantine an extra 2 weeks. So it's basically in an Airbnb alone for a month.
Oh no.
And they would visit me from far away and like wave, like her kids, and they'd wave at me, and I would do Zoom shows. Basically my whole routine was I would go on a long walk or run like in the woods because it was near like this gorgeous wood trail in Tallahassee. And then I would come back and then I would do like some Zoom comedy show in the living room.
That's kind of nice.
And then I would write and like, I just like, I don't know. I had like this really weird routine going on. So I did that the first 2 months. Then I actually just started working. I just like got back on the road. And so I worked like really weird, like not weird clubs, but clubs that were like, very bare minimum capacity. So it's like small turnouts, like really spread out.
Yeah.
And
were you finding that you were working clubs that maybe prior you wouldn't have thought of, or like maybe weren't like your style or weren't like as big as you would have wanted?
No, I was actually revisiting most of the clubs like I've worked. I guess I didn't mean the clubs were weird. It was more like the circumstances.
Okay, yeah.
But I did Wise Guys like 3 times. And
wow. Is that in Indiana?
No, Utah.
Okay. Oh, Utah. Oh, cool. Wow. I've never been there.
Oh, you would love it. Yeah, it's a really good club and the owner's really nice. And so those shows were like probably the most normal.
Did they have, so they were, Utah was open for like most of the time. They had no weird like capacity rule. Oh, that's neat.
Well, they had capacity rules, but they still were open.
Okay.
So I did that. And then and then my dad passed away. So I went.
Oh God. Did I even reach out to you? Did I even know? When was this?
I feel like you did. I'm pretty sure you did. It was in October.
Okay, that's really rough. Was it anything COVID related or?
No, it was, he's had MS a long time. And so, but it was a weird story, which is my mom had this window guy clean the windows, or like not clean the windows. She was trying to like change the windows out, and she noticed he had a cold. Then she got a cold and then gave my dad the cold. And then my dad my dad got sick, like, but even worse than he normally is, and then got
Oh
pneumonia.
man.
Then he had to go to the hospital. Then, he just didn't want to keep doing treatment, which is like really uncomfortable for him. And it's like, they have to do the thing with the lungs. There was like water in his lungs and all sorts of stuff. So he just wanted to go home and stop everything. And so, so then
that's rough.
Yeah. So then
How old was he?
He was 69.
That's so young. My mom died really young too. I feel like she was like 70 or 71. It's just like, I was talking about this with my sister the other day. Like, I never feel like mom like grew old,
Yeah, I know my sister, I think it was really hard on her to like think that he got sort of gypped of a lot of life. He didn't get to see his grandkids grow up and things like that. And
yeah.
Or at least make it to 70. It's like he almost made it to 70.
My mom, when she got real bad in April and then died like early August, like August 2nd. And my sister was the last one to see her. Like me and my brother had seen her like early in July. And then my sister was there late July. And like, I don't know if it was like the drugs she was on or whatever. It's funny because you mentioned like getting to see grandkids grow up.
Yeah.
My brother had my nephew, like they just had, it was before my niece was born. So like Dylan was like, this was 3 years ago. So maybe he was very young, right? Or like, yeah, brand new, fresh out, Yeah. And then so like my sister told me this. She was like, don't ever tell Eric this. And he doesn't listen to my podcast, so I can say this here comfortably. That mom, in possibly a drugged state, possibly just an honest state, leaned over and said to my sister, like, is it bad that I don't really care about Dylan or something like that? Like, she said something like she just got real. And like, she didn't have what you would expect typical grandmotherly, like, exactly what you're saying. I'm not going to see them grow up and I'll always be watching over them. She kind of was like, lukewarm on his whole existence. She was like, man, so I kind of don't really care about it. And I was like, oh no, because I'm like obsessed with them. But it was so funny because like growing up, my mom was always like, when are you guys gonna have kids? And then my brother finally has a kid, and she's just like, meh. She was very meh about the whole thing. But
what did she die from again?
She had brain cancer, which was like, I would not recommend that at all. It was like probably, and I was very not in touch with how bad it was. And I don't think my mom and dad were not leveling with any of us with how bad it was, how dire it was, and how there was no coming back from it. I don't know if I would have done anything differently, but like, you're always going to be so hopeful. And like, oh, she needs to go to this organic doctor. She needs to go to this like experimental thing. When it turns out it's just fucking awful. And like, I just didn't realize like, yeah, she's gonna be dead in 3 years. Like, that's the deal. So,
oh my God,
it's really like rough. And like, I made so many jokes when it first happened, like, the wrong parent got cancer because I was so close with her.
Yeah.
And she was the glue. She like kept us all together. So it's
I know.
hard.
I feel a little bit like that with my dad too.
And nothing prepares you at all for the loss of a parent. You're just
I was talking to, who was I talking to about that? How, I forget who I was talking to. Maybe, no, it wasn't my sister. It was somebody who was saying, I wish they would just kind of talk about it more. Like, I wish parents would just sort of warn you about it. And my dad like never brought it up. He would just say things like, the career is taking too long. Like, it's taking.
Meaning your career?
Yeah, my career. Like, it's taking too long to blow up.
At least he was acknowledging that you had a career. My mom would be like, when are you done with this little hobby of yours? Like she would say to my face, she'd be like, you're wasting the best dating years of your life doing comedy with these people. And I was like, I mean, she wasn't wrong, but
Well, yeah, we all are. We're all wasting our lives.
Meanwhile, we all know how she reacted to the grandkids. So I don't know. You can't like live your life to please other people, I guess. But
well, yeah,
it's rough. Like, I miss her so much. And
I know, it's so hard. And yeah, it feels kind of like you only connect with people who've lost a parent now.
Oh, I get mad at people who haven't lost a parent. I'm like, you don't fucking know.
You do not know.
You don't know anything.
You do not know.
Yeah. But it's good that you were busy. Obviously that was like a horrible thing that happened, during a horrible year. And obviously it's like still, it hasn't even been a year yet for you. So
I feel lucky that I was able to be there though. Like I know a lot of people lost loved ones and they weren't even able to be with them. So I am grateful for that.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
And so like, how's your mom doing now?
She's becoming very religious.
That'll keep someone busy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's always been religious, but now it's like, twice a week and she's like very into it. And
there's a new man in her life and his name is Jesus Christ.
Jesus. Yeah. It is Jesus all the way. So she's committed to that. And yeah, she's doing okay, actually. Like I'm pretty impressed with how she's handling it. So, she plays piano and violin, so she's like escaping in that. And
oh wow, so you just have a talented family.
I have a very musical family.
Do any of your like siblings play anything?
Well, my sister doesn't really anymore. She used to like play violin as a kid and then guitar later, but not anymore.
Yeah,
she's like a teacher and a mom and a writer.
Do you have a hard time like getting your family to recognize like what you do? Like that you're a professional comedian? Like, are they like impressed with you or like proud of you? Or
I had like the opposite parents where they were such artists themselves because like they met at music school. My mom's a professional violinist and my dad played clarinet. So they were actually like the opposite of parents in that. And most parents in that they didn't really teach me any life skills. They just taught me, like, find what you love to do and the money will follow. And I've always,
which is a great quote for Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when is it following? It's really slow.
Yeah.
So yeah. But on the upside, they really actually did understand the arts and they understood that it's like there's no guarantees with it. There's a lot of disappointment. Like they kind of get the journey of that.
Do you feel lucky that, I think you're a little younger than me. I'm 37. Nope. Do you feel, okay. I feel like, okay, let's say you are close to my age. But I feel like I'm very lucky the age that I am because I feel like we just squeaked out a generation of comics who I feel like are lost. Like I feel like there's a group of like Gen X comics that are like definitely 50 and up, but I can think of some examples that are like 40 and up that just missed the technology, missed the social media training, like missed it somehow and are like weirdly too proud to like learn from influencers or learn from TikTokers or learn from people who are like crushing the game. Like they haven't been able to like evolve their like, I don't know, their technical abilities with their talent. And they've kind of just leveled off and become, I don't know, irrelevant.
Yeah.
Am I alone in that observation? Like,
well, I'm not one to talk because I haven't fully embraced a lot of this either. Like I don't have a podcast. I don't do TikTok. Like,
I am not on TikTok. Yeah. I just feel like, but you're on Twitter. Like I'm talking about like refusing to adopt any social media and, just kind of not getting with it. I mean, like you're doing albums, you're still on the road. Like you're still working.
Oh, you mean they're not even working? They're not even doing the road?
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like it's like, even if you are doing the road, it's not enough to just like, there needs to be a social media presence of some kind.
Yeah, it's a tough thing because I don't always know if it translates or not. Like it seems like it translates for some people, like some people do a podcast and then they immediately have an audience. And some people do TikTok and they immediately have an audience, but then some people I think do it, but then the audience still doesn't come out to see them.
I think that's a big jump. And I think the way people are like viewing comedy is changing. Like there's so much competition for your time and for your entertainment. Like there's so much keeping somebody. I mean, lockdowns even like separate from it. There's so much keeping you home. There's so many things you could watch, like movies. Like if you're at the point where you're actually physically out at a comedy club, like holy shit, you're my favorite person because there's so much pulling you away from that.
I know. I'm always amazed when people come.
I know, me too. I've gone from like sometimes being like, oh my God, the room isn't full to being like, I am so grateful for each and every person here. Like they could have been doing literally anything else.
It's a huge deal to come to a show. It's like a lot of steps involved.
Yeah. How have you felt like in your doing the road, like the last year and even before that, do you feel like you have to like stifle your political opinions? Do you feel like you end up catering to what you think might be like a red state or a blue state?
I found that I like kind of veer away from politics in general just because I don't really genuinely feel that political. Like my problem is I don't like getting so involved with it. I've always been sort of confused by comics that just want to do politics because it seems so divisive and kind of besides the point of what we're trying to do, but that's just my thing.
I understand that. And like, I never understood that. I did get a little like riled up when I was like, oh, free speech is in jeopardy. Like I feel activated because that's like what I fucking do. And like, I got to fight for my rights and so these dick jokes. But like really before that, I completely agree with you. Like I would never like get excited about politicians. I find them like pretty boring. I feel like detached from like the political process. I almost feel like, however I feel doesn't matter because it's a machine like bigger than me. But it's good. I think it's always a good rule to like, yeah, if you're going to get into politics, like you should probably know the room because it's so easy to alienate and like at least half the audience.
Yeah. I mean, I think it is a choice once you do it. Like I had a joke at one point that was political kind of, but in my mind, it was clever because it wasn't political. And I don't do it anymore because one guy walked out once.
Really? That's
that one joke. Well, I don't do it because I just don't really feel that political. So it feels kind of like not me anymore. Okay. But once in a while, I like more testing like human nature. Like I like more doing a joke where it might be political, but you don't know that it's political. And it's like, I don't like, for me, what's interesting is how like robotic everyone's become. Like if you talk to anyone now, everyone's like, they use the same words over and over. Like, well, things are getting back to normal.
Yeah, there's so much of that.
There's so much of that where it's like things are getting back to normal because people are getting the vaccine and people are wearing their masks.
It's like a script.
And it's like, oh, so you're being fed the same words over and over. And now you can't veer away from the script. Like, that's why I like tweeted that thing, like normalize not using the word normalize. Like you brainwashed robots. Yeah. Because I'm like, these words are driving me nuts, like overusing because to me that seems brainwashed. If you use the words that you're fed, whether it's media or whether it's your friends or, to me, you seem like a robot. You're not thinking for yourself. You can't think for yourself if you're using the words spoon fed to you.
Exactly. Anytime I hear somebody say, even like in chit chat, like there was this lady at the nail salon, oh, things are getting back to normal. I'm like, ugh, you watch too much mainstream media. Like you watch too much TV. Like it's exactly what you said. It's a big red flag that they are not thinking for themselves. And it's like,
and the whole idea of like people being given the free, like we just found out we're allowed to leave the house. I'm like, actually, I've been leaving my house this whole time because I do have the freedom to leave my house.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can tell you you're not allowed to leave your house. They can suggest it, but everyone's like, oh my gosh, I just hugged my grandmother for the first time. And I'm like, I saw my sister, I saw my mom, I saw my friends. I like, don't understand.
Yeah. Like I was in Florida. My dad lives in Florida. I didn't see my dad because he was with his new girlfriend, but you know what I mean? I'm everywhere. I'm out there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I wasn't careful. Like I quarantined before I saw my sister. It's like I quarantined before I saw my parents.
I would have been offended at somebody asking me to quarantine. I'd be like, bitch, we shared a room growing up, you know?
Yeah, I mean, she was someone who got really concerned and very anxious. And to me, the anxiety of this year.
Did she wash her groceries at any point?
Yes, I think she did.
Oh Lord. Oh no.
No judgment, but yeah.
No judgment, but slight judgment. Aw. No, people only know what they're exposed to and like what they're like reading and watching. And
I've always thought that like instinctually fear is a really bad thing for your immune system and for any sort of stress levels. Like if you're fearful, you automatically go into like flight or fight mode.
Oh yeah, right. It taxes your like adrenals.
I refuse to get scared. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to live this year the way I want to live it. And like, yeah. So some people thought I was crazy, but then I'm like, I'm fine, knock on wood. I'm fine a year and a half later.
Yeah. And I was just like you, like I had this just inner knowing that I was going to be fine. I never felt scared. Like I also was like, I'm someone who has not been into watching TV for like a very long time. Like ever since I moved out of my parents' house, like college onward. So what is that? Like 17 onward. And then I moved back with my parents and then moved out again at 26. Never had a TV. Like couldn't care less.
Same.
Got out of watching. I just didn't care. It wasn't until I moved in with my boyfriend and he was like, oh, we gotta have it. Gotta hang up the TV. You gotta have a TV in the bedroom. And I was like, I don't really even care. Like I have so many books that I am using as coasters. I just like was never interested in it. And I think that was like good for both of us because we weren't like were not brainwashed. We weren't like
I've never been a TV person. I think because I didn't grow up with one until I was like 8.
Wow.
I didn't get one, so I think it's not really like something I need in my life.
Yeah, the people who like have to turn the TV on just to have it on. I'm like, what do you do? Don't like your own peace? You don't like your own thoughts?
I know. I dated a guy who had the TV on all day, like on the news. And I was like, no wonder you're like so distraught by the news. It's on all day.
Yeah. And they're not trying to put you at peace. They're trying to keep you watching, which is to make you insane and anxious and wondering what's coming next.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. That's good that you were like, I'm not going to be scared. I'm going to like keep working, keep living my life.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I don't know, it's like almost like my common sense was guiding me through the last year. It's like, yeah, you've made it this far in life without really like changing the way you do things. Like you're probably fine. Like we, both of us on planes all the time, shaking hands after shows. I'm not really getting like super sick.
Did you do shows the whole year?
My break was probably from like March in LA was like the last show. And then I did a show in Philly right after that. So it was like from that Philly show, March 12th to maybe July. And then I started doing like outdoor, like secret shows. So April, May. Yeah, it was maybe like 3 months. Maybe it was June.
Are you in New York right now?
Yeah.
How is it feeling? Like, how's the comedy scene?
It's like, it's so funny because now I'm like in this road vibe. I've been like, doing the road and doing like clubs all outside New York, like this whole time. And it's funny, like maybe I'll get back to doing my friend's room, like the Grizzly Pair, but it's like, I don't know. I enjoy doing the road more than clubs in the city. So I haven't been like, I got to get, back in, but I know that the shows are still happening and like, indoors. Like I saw it today, like New York Comedy Club, and this was what like really concerned me. They're not letting audience members in unless you have the Excelsior pass or like your COVID vaccination card. And I was like, oh, that's so icky. Like, why would you choose to have that as a policy unless you're forced to?
Excelsior? What's that?
Excelsior pass is what they use for Yankee Stadium. It's basically like their way of doing the Vax passport. It's like, I think it's just a digital basically digital Holocaust band,
Yeah, I'm not for that.
So I was surprised to see that. I'm like, that's a big turnoff. But I know the shows have been coming back. I know the Stand is back. I really love that room. I haven't done many city shows, but the vibe of New York City, it's like, yeah, there are people back, but it doesn't feel the same. And like even most recently with these mask mandates lifted, even like by the CDC, 80 to 90% of the people walking around New York City outdoors are still wearing their masks. So I don't know if people are just like, we bought a value pack, we got to use these up. Are they wearing them for fun? I don't understand, because
I don't understand either. They just told me in my yoga studio that we don't have to wear masks starting June 15th. And I almost hugged the teacher because I do hot yoga.
Oh my God, I did hot yoga once with a mask. I'm like, you're going to make us die. Like that's
I screamed in the middle of the class because like I was
so hard.
I'm sure they would label me a Karen or whatever. But like we had the masks on. And the heat was extra hot. It was like we were like dying, and we were all dying. And then the teacher,
hot yoga is you're in a room. It's like by the way, it's 100 to like 107 degrees, and you're meant to sweat, but you feel amazing after.
Yeah, and you can't breathe. So like we had the masks on, and the teacher was kind of like trying to guess why everyone was sitting down or like leaving the room, or
why aren't you guys
pretty much dying?
Why is everyone laying down? Why is everyone puking?
She's like, I'm so confused. And she goes, what did she say? She's like, it must just be a little bit hot in here. And she lowered, and then finally I was just like, we can't breathe. None of us.
And she's like, quiet, George Floyd, quiet. Yeah.
Everyone pretended I wasn't saying a word. I was like, the masks are not safe. Like we need to like, the air circulation has to go in and out. Like you can't keep breathing the same air in a hot yoga class.
It's hard to do hot yoga just as a regular person with no mask.
Yeah.
Like
I'm probably gonna get isn't it funny that that's something you worry about
get canceled
for? She said she doesn't want to wear her mask.
Do you worry about that a lot, getting canceled for things?
Not really, because I just don't think I don't think I'm famous enough.
That's how I feel too, but it's like you're only like one tweet away from pissing off.
I know there have been tweets that I tweet and then erase because later I'm just like, that could be just too easily misinterpreted,
Yeah.
I'm not so much worried about getting canceled like for something I say, but it's more like out of context,
Yeah. Does your like manager or agent, do they ever say like, okay, avoid XYZ topics?
No, he doesn't try to control that. No.
That's good. So he just handles like bookings and
yeah.
Okay, that's good. I always wondered like,
I mean, I think if I went crazy out there, he might say something, but I haven't really.
Yeah.
I'm like I think my problem, the reason I don't want to do politics is I just don't feel like I really connect with any political thing, like I'm such an individualist. I just believe in like humanity individually and not
maybe you're an anarchist.
I'm not an anarchist. I'm, no, I'm more just like free, but I do believe in freedom. So I don't
live and let live. Maybe you're a libertarian.
Yeah. I'm closer to that, but if you say that, they say you're a Nazi, so you're not allowed to say that.
It takes almost nothing to be considered a Nazi. Like if you own camouflage shorts, you are a Nazi. It's like
but I don't like a lot of rules, and I'm confused by comics loving rules. Like when did comics?
Oh my God, I don't understand this, Erica. Like who did?
When did we're supposed to be the ones who are like, like stick it to the man. Like you can't tell us what to do. And now it's suddenly like, listen to the rules, listen to the man, listen to the government. It's like, we're supposed to be the ones challenging that. Right.
Yeah. There's definitely a group of people, like comics are included in that, who just love being told what to do.
But
it just makes things easier.
The reason I got into comedies, I'm not that. I'm not like a rule follower. I never like led a clear path in my life where it was like, I dropped out of college. I'm not good with structure or limitations or rules. So I'm so shocked at all these comics who are like, how dare you travel like during a pandemic, or how, like, they're just so into rule following all of a sudden.
It's like they're actually genuinely like brainwashed, need to be led, can't make their own decisions, or they're not crushing it like you are. They're not in a position to do road work. So they're going to judge you instead of like tapping into their own insecurity of like, whoa, I can't even get any work. And Erica's doing the road. She's doing all these big clubs. I think that's a lot of it because they can use their inadequacy, but like get on their high horse about it and make it about the virus or safety or like fucking being polite. And it's like, man, this is like, if the tables were somehow turned, it'd be like, fuck everyone for themselves. Like, bye.
Yeah.
So, it's insincere.
Yeah. It could be. I guess that was one thing I was better at, was not really caring.
That's good. That's really important. What were you going to college for before you dropped out?
I was a music major.
Oh, of course. Right. Yeah. The musical family. What did you play?
Cello.
Wow. I love cello music. Like, you know, it's so weird that I'll listen to cello music like when I'm masturbating or like if I just want to think or like
Chrissie, don't ruin the most pure instrument.
Oh my God, really? The cello is the most pure instrument? It's basically like a person. You have to buy a seat for it on the plane. You're like, anybody who plays a cello is like, you're basically like holding it, you know?
I know, it's between your legs too, and you're just playing it like that.
Wow, so you were probably pretty good.
Yeah, well, I was good enough to be a major, but I probably wasn't good enough to be like a soloist, you know?
Wow. That's a hard life, that cello life.
It is, because you have to drag the thing around. It's heavy, you know?
That's precisely why I quit the alto sax. I was in concert band, and I wasn't like, you know, I think I was second chair. Jacob Rothstein was first chair. He thought he was hot shit. And he had like a take-home saxophone that was like brand new, like gorgeous, like all gold. And like the one I had was like the gold buttons, but like the insides were silver. So it like didn't really look as nice. So I just would like, I got sick of carrying it around. I would like sit on it while I was waiting for the bus. I did like it though, but had it been lighter, I probably would have stuck with it longer. So I don't know how you play
it now.
Could I play it now? I haven't laid hands on a saxophone since like probably 9th or 10th grade.
Well, that's not that long ago.
Maybe. I don't know. If someone handed me one, I would try.
You could probably pick it up, I bet.
All right, maybe I should try to do that. It's like, I don't know. I just remember I was like, I feel like, you know, the people who play, you can tell what kind of personality somebody is by the instrument they play. Like
Karen, I was like I was trying to write a joke about that actually, about like, or like pondering a joke idea, because you know how like no stereotypes are allowed anymore, but like you can totally stereotype instruments.
For sure. Like the fact that you play the cello, Erica, tells me that like you fucking hang in there when things are rough and annoying. You're like dragging around a 100-pound instrument or whatever. Like you put up with a lot. Like you're patient, you're determined, probably high on the loyalty scale. Me, I had to play clarinet for a couple years before.
My dad was a clarinetist.
Yeah, before I could even touch a saxophone, they make you play the clarinet.
Oh wow.
So I was like, I look at, you know, you look at the girls who play the flute and you're like, they're all bitches. They think they're hot shit. And especially, if a girl plays the piccolo, get away, because she's about to ruin your life.
And the harp is like, whoa.
I know a harp girl. She lives in Connecticut. She's dating a friend of mine. She has 2 harps. You know, if you were wondering how much money her family has, she has 2 harps in a living room. And I was just like, damn. That's a big commitment. Yeah, you're never just casually harping. You know what I mean?
No,
like
you don't
only
like harp. The harp.
Yeah, no. You harp when there's like people over and it's a fancy dinner party. And you're like, you never like, I'm gonna get bombed with my friends and then harp the way you would maybe a guitar. You could drunkenly or you know, get high and play the guitar.
You don't have to play that well at guitar to impress like anybody.
Oh yeah, just play like a chord and my underpants are off.
When I first moved to LA, I like worked at a medicinal marijuana clinic, and I met this guy that I was working with who played guitar, and he wanted me to play cello in his band.
Oh my God.
So I played in his band, and it was the funniest thing because no one could ever hear me. Like, because Because they
Were
would
you
never,
like boom, 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 boom? Were you
yeah,
like
well,
like
I
a
would
bass?
play it, but it's like they're playing like rock and roll, right? And so the acoustics, it's like even if I plugged my cello in, just didn't carry that well. And so I would play, and then I'd play like just whole notes. So I'd play like whole notes, like while he sang and played guitar. And I'd be like, it would be the simplest things like, but he's like rocking and rolling and being cool. And after those shows, everyone would be like, you're amazing. Oh my God, you played so beautiful. And I was like, you couldn't hear a single note I was playing.
Who knows? Maybe there were some hardcore cello fans in the crowd.
No, it was an LA thing of like all they cared about was that you looked cool with the instrument. And like they were just impressed that I played cello. And I just remember being like, wow, this is so LA.
Oh. Wow. I was obsessed with this band called Pearl and the Beard. They broke up like a few years ago. There was a cello player. I'm obsessed with her. Her name was Emily Hope Price, I think. And then they broke up. Like I still like talk to a couple of the members. That's what really got me turned on to cello music. And I was just like, oh, it's so soothing. It's like my soul like loves it.
It's technically the most soothing instrument because it's the closest to the human voice.
I didn't know that. That makes sense. Who do you like to listen to? Are you a Yo-Yo Ma? Are you a
I don't really
Vivaldi?
listen. I haven't been listening to much classical, honestly, but when I do listen, I like the romantic composers. I love Prokofiev. I love Brahms, and trying to think who else I like. You know, like the big romantic. I like a lot of the Russian composers, Dvorak.
Ooh, I don't know anything about Russians.
Oh, the Russian composers are the best.
Do you know I learned this about Russians and Eastern Europeans the other day? In porn, if the man doesn't come to the scene or come to set like with machismo and masculine energy, like the female porn star will not respect you. Like you have to.
Whoa.
There's no beta males basically in Eastern European porn.
Wow. I dated a Russian guy for a bit in high school.
Ooh, was he like, Erica, please play your cello?
Well, he was a violinist. We met in an orchestra, and it was very romantic.
Oh man,
yeah,
sounds like my get together with Pierre.
Yeah, we used to sneak into like the piano room after rehearsals and make out in the piano room.
Wasn't that great? Like the days where making out was enough.
Yeah,
yeah, we're like you could just kiss somebody and be like, oh my God.
I know, making out in a hidden closet or something. It was so exciting.
Oh my God. I think my first kiss technically was with Johnny Mayr, who is now gay, but runs like a garden. Not like a garden, but
a garden?
What do you call it? Like a garden where you can buy stuff from. Like for your
like
house.
A farmer's?
I think so. I forget. It's in Long Island.
Okay.
I'm gonna think of it. God damn it. I can't think of it.
What are those called? Not
a farmer's market, but like a
nursery?
Maybe a nursery. Atlantic Nursery. I think that's the one. I don't know why I have to dox every person I've ever interacted with my whole life, but I just don't know how to lie. I think our kiss was in first grade. We had our fifth grade buddies meeting with us, and we were like behind this bookcase, and then it was weird because we just kind of like fell into each other. I don't even know if we knew how to kiss. I don't even know if I should count that as a first kiss. But then the fifth grade buddy was like, "Oh," and then who knows? Maybe that's why he's gay today. Maybe I should have used more tongue.
That was your first kiss.
I don't know if I'm going to count him or Philip Giammarino when I was 14 at Oceanside Pool after a practice, after like a swim practice. I think I'll count. I'm going with Phil because that was like a deliberate, like it was cute. He like asked me before. He was like, "Can I kiss you?" And that was the beginning of consent.
I've always hated when guys do that.
Ask. Yeah, it's so unsexy.
It's not sexy. Like if you have to ask, the answer was already no.
Right. You should know. Like,
yeah, you should know. But then now I'm sure they all feel like they have to ask.
Yeah. So any guys listening, you don't have to ask at least me and Erica.
Yeah. My first kiss was a French boy, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, I met him at music camp also. There's a lot of like romance in music.
That
And
makes sense.
his name was Alexis Llewellyn. And
Oh, wow.
he played flute.
A
And
man who plays the flute. Oh, boy.
yeah,
Did he also turn out gay?
No, but he was very bipolar. So he was like all over he was like manic. And I remember he swore like a sailor, like he was like always swearing.
Oh my God. Imagine a man angrily playing the flute. I can't even imagine it.
Well, apparently later on, he threw the flute out his window. That was what I heard. But I was madly in love with him. And like, I thought he was so edgy and cool because he had all this angst.
Yeah.
But then after camp, I used to write him these letters and he never responded.
What the fuck? I hope he hears this.
I wrote him a letter every day for like,
oh my God.
months. Yeah.
Letter writing is legit. Like, that's how you really, I think that's what we should do. We should turn off the apps, except for like one, or basically get it to the point where like, if you're not writing letters for a bitch, you're probably not serious.
I know. I think we should actually make a movement where we bring back handwritten letters in general, because it's so exciting. Like, I sent a couple thank you notes, like handwritten to people recently, and like, it's the biggest deal ever.
It is the biggest deal. First of all, you're getting mail, which
because most mail sucks now. Like, most mail is so bad. And like, she told me that she got her divorce papers and then she got my thank you note. And she was like, I got it the same day. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. Like, you can like send someone a little note and it means so much now because most mail is just so bad.
Yeah. The worst is when it's like you get a happy birthday from like West Elm or Bath and Body Works before you get like a birthday card from somebody.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I got very few cards around my birthday.
Were you raised in like a card house?
Yes, my mom's like obsessed with thank you notes and stuff like that.
You got to do the thank you notes. You got to do the birthday card. It's like, it means a lot. I know it's probably like, oh, I'm going to spend $5 on this card. And then you got to send it way ahead, so that it gets there. But
I do think it would be cool if people brought it back because it kind of is like really special now,
Yeah. You can like spray your scent on it. It's like somebody put time into writing their feelings. I just like really reading feelings. Like, I even like an email of feelings. I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take an email with feelings.
Although, like, I did date a guy who we had so many long email fights. And every time I'd go to my mail, I'd be like, oh no. And then you open it and it's like, brrr. So I don't,
Yeah, that would give me anxiety.
Oh yeah.
And that's why you need to reprogram like what it's like to get an email.
Yeah. It's just coupons from Bed Bath Beyond. Great. Oh my God. So are you dating anybody right now?
No.
You heard it first, boys.
I've been single this entire time, Chrissy.
You've been single all of quar.
All of quar. And I've been working on myself, and I've been like, I started meditating and I've been doing yoga. Ooh. And I'm just like doing that kind of work.
How do you, meditating intimidates me so much. Like, how do you just started it, or you were like, I follow?
So it's intimidated me except for transcendental, which is different than all the other
female to male meditation.
What?
Transcendental.
Is that, wait, what? Oh.
No, I just was kidding.
I was like, I didn't get it.
I was making a trans joke.
Okay, now I get it. Yeah.
What is transcendental meditation?
It's like what, David Lynch does, and like Seinfeld does it, and a lot of people do it. But what it does, the reason I think it's more intuitive for artists is because it allows you to have the thoughts. So it doesn't like tell you keep going back to your breath, which drives me crazy. They give you a mantra and you go back to the mantra, but you're not forced to be like, focus on your breathing. And as soon as a thought comes, let it go. Instead it's like, let your brain go to the thought and then come back to the mantra.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So don't pretend you're not having thoughts.
Right. It's to me, it's so much more intuitive because you're gonna have thoughts.
You're gonna have thoughts.
You're gonna have thoughts. So
unless you are a girl from LA, and then maybe not.
Yeah, unless you're just told what to think all the time, which we are.
Unless you're saying, things are getting back to normal right now.
Yeah. But
Trust
no, I find it interesting. I think it's a different kind of meditation that's like, I don't know, better for me. So I did the course, which was like a 4-day course.
Oh, wow.
And we had a teacher and we, met up 4 times and just like, she kind of just guides you and teaches you how to do it. So
that's great. Are you finding now it's hard? Do you have difficulty now, like writing material?
I've been feeling a little stuck because I definitely feel a little bit like repetitive thoughts. Like I keep thinking kind of the same stuff over and over. And I think it is because you're just not being exposed to as many experiences as you were.
And you're someone who's out there, like, and traveling.
I know. It's like, but even when I'm out there, I'm not really socializing. I'm kind of like, like I'll get on a plane and I'll go to the show and then I'll go to my hotel. And there's not like a lot of interaction. So
you got to be one of those weird ladies who just starts chatting people up.
I know. I should just like be more outgoing. I'm like,
so wild.
Introverted.
Just before, so spoiler alert. The reason why I was 7 minutes late, I was finishing getting my nails done, and I thought I was going to get back in time. So, but here's what the lady. So we're at the nail place. There's this fucking weird. I'm getting a pedicure first, right? We're in the chairs. It's like it's getting packed, but there's the layers of floating plastic between us. And then this lady, how sometimes you just like, I don't know if I give off a good energy or this lady was like in a bad place, but through the glass, like through the plastic, she's like, do you want to help me swipe for Bumble? Like she has her app open. She's like, I'm newly divorced. I'm 50 something. And so I'm looking through now this plastic with her, helping her swipe. And she was like, I need to get a conservative man. So I'm like helping her swipe. And I'm like, oh, American flag in the background. That's a good indication. Like he's probably conservative. And then she was pickier than I was. She just immediately saw a black guy. I was like, nope, Asian guy, no. I was like, Naomi, you gotta come on. You gotta
come on.
Give some guys a chance here. She was
come on, Naomi, be open.
She has high standards. And so I was just helping. I was basically telling her to swipe on like I was like, yeah, you should probably swipe on everybody unless you're like you get a visceral like ugh reaction. Because someone might surprise you and they might. And I'm like, you have to keep in mind with men, like they're not great with aesthetics. Like they put up photos that are
photos.
There's bad lighting. There's a photo with their daughter. You're like, is that their girlfriend? They don't know what to do. So
did you find her any guy that she?
Yeah, I was having her swipe, and one, I guess, and this is how like little I know about like apps because I've just been like out of the game. But like, yeah, she got like a match right away with a guy. So I was like, all right, Naomi, don't fuck this up. And yeah, she was trying to be more picky, but she had a lot going on. Like, I think that's what it is. Like when, you know what I mean? Like when you need to get stuff out, you're going to talk to whoever's next to you at nails. And it was a lot. She was like, I need to find a job. And I just, I need to find a new place to live. I was like,
oh my gosh. He sounds like a wreck.
It was a lot. And then she's like, do you need a ride home? And I was like, all right, I'm going to get murdered.
Yeah, no.
But no, she was.
Are you dating anyone?
Yeah, I've been with the same
guy
for like 6 years now.
Oh my gosh, and he's a comic, right?
He is like in the comedy world. He like books comedy shows, so he understands the life, but there's no like competition for anything like that.
That's great. Yeah, that's so good that you're in a healthy, happy relationship.
Yeah, it's good. It feels like almost like post marriage at this point. Like it's all like I feel like we're already there. Like,
do you want to get married or no?
I don't. If it works out for tax reasons, I know that sounds so unromantic, but like I just feel like we've rounded all the bases, and like that's why I get why people get married in like year 1, year 2, because that's when you're like, oh my God, you're not thinking straight. You're in love. Right. The hormones are fucking with you. You're like, yeah, let's spend $10,000 on flowers. Like that's the time to do it when you're like not making good choices.
Right. Yeah. And now you're like, wait, now we're too mature to get married.
Now I'm like, let's just like, I want to save up for a car. Yeah. That sounds like no fun, but I don't know. Yeah, I feel like weddings are a young woman's game. Like, not that I'm old.
You're
but
a
like,
young woman.
I don't know. I just like, I feel weird because I never was like one of these planning my wedding girls. Like, were you ever in that stage?
Not really. I mean, it's weird that like marriage and kids is something I always thought I would have, but like slowly I'm like, maybe not, you know, and maybe that's okay to not have that.
Yeah, I think like I know a girl who wasn't with a guy, but she was like, fuck it, because she's like a few years older than us. She's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna have a baby by myself. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like that's rough too, because like willingly to be a single mom doesn't
that is a lot
fun.
of work. Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Sometimes your ovaries can't fight the moonlight and you gotta get a baby out. I don't know. I have a single egg left, so we'll see.
You have one left?
I think so. I have a feeling. Yeah. And she just yells up to me and she's like, don't get the vaccine. And I'm like, shh, quiet.
I like the idea of a talking ovary, actually. That's really funny.
Like, I should make a puppet for it.
Yeah, you should make a little ovary, like, sidekick.
And I could speak at libraries, maybe. And I would probably scare a lot of people. Oh my God, Erica, it was so good to talk to you. Like, it's so wild. Like, it's been so long. And it's like, I know. Time is so weird.
It's funny because we've never really hung out for like long periods of time, but I feel like I know you much better than like I actually do.
Yeah. Yeah. Funny. We vibe. We vibe.
We totally vibe. Mm-hmm. Good people.
So you're going to be at the Acme Comedy Club in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
I should tell my dad's girlfriend to go see you.
Yes, please tell her. What's her name?
Michelle. There I go. I'm doxing everyone.
Michelle.
June 2nd to June 5th. Any other gigs you want to plug or
I think I'm going to be in Tacoma the end of July.
Ooh, where's Tacoma? Illinois? No.
It's in Washington.
Okay, I knew that. All right. Yeah. I've never been to Washington, the state. I've been to the DC. Yeah.
Well, you're an East Coast gal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got to get out there to like Utah and maybe Washington.
Utah's gorgeous. Definitely worth.
Right. It's like for skiing and such.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. I'll put that on my to-do list. Erica, where can people follow you on social media?
Just Twitter's good or Instagram, Erica Rhodes.
And Rhodes, like, you know what your second album should be called? Every Rhodes Has Its Thorn.
That was too similar to my album, my special though.
Diva and Rhodes.
Yeah, I can't keep doing Rose references.
Can't do multiple puns.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah. All right, Erica, it was so good to chat with you. Thank you for coming on.
Chrissie.
Good to catch up. I'm going to hit you up when I'm in LA next. I'm planning a trip like probably summer, fall. So.
Oh, nice.
We'll hang out.
Is there anything that we should delete from this podcast?
No, I don't think so. I feel pretty good about all the people's real names I've mentioned. And no,
should we delete where I go off on comics?
No, you didn't really say anything. You took a very like I think safe stance. I think a lot of people agree with you. Yeah, I think this was good. In summation, I think this was great. I think this was an A+ episode.
Okay. Cool. I always get paranoid no matter what I say. I'm like, did I say something wrong?
I know. It's that post-podcast regret. You're like, was I too honest?
Yeah, I think I just was honest.
Yeah, no, you were good. You were perfect, Erica.
I'm drinking a lot of beverages during this. I hope
good. This is literally a Cosmo like from a can that I like popped open and I was like, this is perfect. I'm like,
it looks really refreshing. I have coffee, coconut water, and berries. I've become so high maintenance with myself.
I am such a 3-drink minimum person as well. Like I always had to, of course, coffee, of course, a fun drink, and then water because I can't drink water.
Water, Coffee.
Oh my god, wait, do we have the same water? Wait, water.
Oh my gosh, yes, water. This
Water, coffee,
coffee,
cocktail, and sparkling seltzer. Oh my god, none of these are sponsors.
That is so funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my boyfriend gets mad at me. He's like, why do you have 5 drinks going? And I'm like, I need them.
I know. I'm always thirsty. Like always.
You're a thirsty bitch.
Yeah, I'm very thirsty.
All right. This was awesome, Erica. You're the best. I will see you soon.
I hope I see you soon in real life.
Yes. This was great. Right. Thank you. Bye.